Hey everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. So kind of a quiet day leading into non-farm payrolls on Friday. If we're looking at how the market is set up here on the NDX cash, we have a squeeze here that kind of fired and then reset. Technically, this one is still valid. The NASDAQ futures actually have a much cleaner and stronger looking squeeze. So we're above the 8, we're above the 21. So for all practical purposes, this is poised for a short covering rally on non-farm payroll. So I actually think stocks will go higher. I'm very light going into tomorrow. I don't have any index positions on. I just, at this point, it's kind of like, all right, let's see what this is going to do. I do think it'll end up going higher. What I'm really looking at, though, is the dollar. And if the non-farm payrolls come out really strong, okay, it's like, wow, we added a lot of jobs. That could be very bullish on the dollar, and that could cause a lot of interesting things to happen. I mean, we've seen gold falling here quite a bit, and this is starting to look like now we're going to start getting into margin calls, and a stronger dollar would just exacerbate that. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff going on there. And then the other stock I'm watching for tomorrow has been Google. Google's been sitting here trading sideways. It's got a squeeze. It's poised to go, and we're starting to get now setting up for earnings in 3 or 4 weeks. And this is kind of a perfect level to kind of consolidate from and go higher. Obviously, there's kind of a hurry up and wait mode for a lot of stocks as we get into non-farm payrolls, and then it's, people are worried. It's October. Then there's the election. But at the end of the day, a chart setup is a chart setup, and I found it is best just to play the setup, and that's what that is there. And speaking of setups, if we look at the S&Ps, we have a squeeze that's setting up here. Okay, and this S&Ps have been kind of the weak index. We've been trading sideways here. The stat I talked about with the elections is that in the 3 months prior to a presidential election, if the market has rallied decently, then the incumbent or incumbent party wins 85% of the time. If it declines, then the opposing party wins actually 87% of the time. This has been trading dead sideways, okay, so which is going to be really interesting to see what the market does here over the next 5 weeks. And from here, last but not least, keeping an eye on Amazon. The stock has been in beast mode. It is certainly extended at this point. I would love to see if we could buy any pullbacks down here into the 825, 826 level, and I would look for some consolidation there. So, sell some put credit spreads and then see if we can kind of go into consolidation mode. What do I mean by consolidation mode? I mean like what's happened here with Apple. So Apple had a big move and now has been trading sideways, and I'm looking for Amazon to do the same thing. So once it kind of digests, and what I look for is kind of the trigger is you get a break below kind of that low of the high bar right there, and that's telling you that the advance at that point is at least come to an end, and now it is time for consolidation. I'm not expecting a big pullback. So at this point, the prior day low is 836. So I'd want to see at least a close below 836, and then from there I'd be looking for consolidation, which is a good time to do iron condors. Okay, so non-farm payrolls are coming up, should not be dull. All right, so for those of you that don't know, we do have a presidential election coming up in about less than 5 weeks now. It is going to be contentious. It is going to have market-moving capabilities, more so than any election that I've seen coming up. We've got a class set up, simplertrading.com/election, where Raghi and I are essentially going to be showing how we're getting prepared for the election, how we're going to trade the election, and how we're going to trade the aftermath of the election. So what are we going to be talking about here? So this is a nutshell. This is kind of the key bullet points. We're going to be talking about preparing to exploit market euphoria or panic. Guess what? If Hillary wins, the financials will be euphoric. If Donald wins, the defense stocks will be euphoric. And the other thing to keep in mind is if Donald wins, then central banks are at this point going to continue on an easing path. If Hillary wins, she's a friend to finance. They'll finally be allowed to start raising rates, which is good for them because they'll start making a lot more money. Okay, so what happens to the stock market in that situation? I mean, there's a lot of implications. Understanding what's happening. This election has the potential to trigger a seismic shift in market trends, as I just kind of talked about. If you aren't ready for it, Well, something like this is that you don't want to be surprised. Not only do you not want to be surprised by something that was completely unexpected, like, wow, I didn't know that the market was going to do that. But at the same time, from a trading perspective, we obviously want to be able to take advantage of it as much as we can. Tools for trading the tsunami. What I've seen in situations like this is that some popular strategies typically will fail during the short-term period of the couple days before, during, and after the election. And we'll be talking about which tools we like to use. And things like Deutsche Bank, okay, and the derivatives powder keg. What all is in place for that, depending on which candidate wins. And then strategies for intraday and swing trading. So we're going to be talking about trading futures, forex, as well as options on individual ETFs and some stocks that would be impacted like that. And so it's kind of a nice overall course where we'll be trading anything that moves, but in the context of what's going to be, I think, the most contentious presidential election, at least in recent memory. So simplertrading.com/election. So the basic package where you can come in on Saturday class. Roger and I will go through all the stuff and all the different strategies that we're going to be using. $497, and we are also that's going to be on Saturday, October 15th, and essentially all the strategies to get you prepared for the election, and then all the different scenarios. Like, okay, look, if Donald wins, this is what we're looking for to happen. If Hillary wins, this is what we're looking for to happen, and this is how we're preparing for it, and this is what we're doing. And then if you want to step up and do the professional package, we'll have 3 live trading days. And it includes the Saturday class, but we're going to do live trading on the 18th and 20th to kind of get ready and get positioned for the election. And then we're also going to trade. We're going to kind of I don't want to say pull an all-nighter, but the idea is we're going to trade the day of the election. So that's going to obviously be in the evening. We don't know how long that's going to go till. I traded in, I think it was 2000. Or no, was it 2000? Maybe it was 2000. After a while it gets fuzzy. But there are some times when a presidential election, you have no idea. You may be 3 in the morning and people still don't know, or it's 9 o'clock at night and people know, or it's weeks, and we don't know if it's going to be obvious by 9 o'clock that night or midnight, and we're going to be trading that, and that is going to be a lot of fun. We've never done that before. There's some amazing opportunities that can come in if you know what to do, and obviously that'll be, since the cash market will be closed, we'll be focusing more on futures and forex and things like that too. But also, it's a way for us to hedge any stock positions that we have using those markets. So anyway, it'll be a lot of fun, and looking forward to seeing you guys there. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.